microscopic form of Ohm's law. Previously what we have derived was a macroscopic form of Ohm's law. So what is the expression for the macroscopic form of Ohm's law? We have derived already. V is equal to I into R. So this is called the macroscopic form of Ohm's law. Now look at the conductor once again given in the picture. XY is a conductor whose length is L and the end X is connected to the positive of a battery, so it is at a positive potential. The end Y is connected to the negative of a battery and hence it is at a negative potential. So V is the potential difference between the two ends of the conductor. As a result, the free electrons will be attracted towards the positive potential and there is an electric field E established across the conductor XY, and that electric field E is equal to the potential gradient V by L. Okay. And the conventional current is due to the flow of positive charges and this is equal and opposite to that of the electrons. So this must be the direction of the conventional current I and this must be the direction of the electric field from the positive towards the negative potential. Okay. So from this expression for Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. But in terms of the specific resistance, what is the resistance of a conductor equal to? The resistance of a conductor is rho into L by A, where A is the area of cross section. So this area of cross section of the conductor is taken as A. So R is equal to rho into L by A. I am going to substitute here. Therefore now what will be V equal to? V is equal to I into rho L by A. This I will readjust again. This is also equal to, that is V is equal to I divided by A into rho into L, and this is equation 1. I have just distributed the terms in a different pattern so that the first one is I by A multiplied by rho into L. This I by A is called as the current flowing through unit area, current per unit area. So this I by A is equal to current flowing per unit area. This current per unit area is denoted by the symbol J, and this J is called as current density. Current density. Now current by itself is a scalar quantity only, but current per unit area is a vector quantity. Therefore this J is called a vector quantity. So I can also represent this by vector symbol, and this J vector is called by what name? It is current density, and its direction is along the direction of the electric field. The current density J and the electric field both are along the same direction, along the direction of the conventional current and opposite to the direction of the flow of the free electrons. Okay. So in equation 1 now V equal to I by A into rho L. Instead of I by A, I can substitute the magnitude of current density. Therefore now V is equal to J into rho into L, and this is equation 2. I have substituted only the magnitude of the current density. Okay, if E is the electric field, V is the potential difference and L is the length of the conductor, then what is electric field? E is equal to V by L, or what is V is also equal to E into L. Is it not? So from the definition of this electric field, the potential difference V is also equal to what? E into L. So look at the equations 2 and 3. I am going to compare these two equations. So comparing equations 2 and 3 are from equations 2 and 3. Okay. See, J into rho into L, J into rho into L. This is equal to E into L. So the length L is getting cancelled on both sides. Therefore, what is J is equal to E divided by rho. This is one of the steps in our main equation. So this is J equal to E by rho. So this also can be written as E multiplied by 1 by rho. But 1 by rho is also equal to what? It is the reciprocal of resistivity, which is called as what? Conductivity. Is it not? See here, 1 by rho. So this is also equal to what? E multiplied by what? Sigma. Where sigma is equal to 1 by rho is called as what? Yes, the conductivity. Therefore, finally we can write that in vector form. J vector is equal to E vector into sigma. So J vector is equal to sigma times E vector. This only is called as what? Microscopic form of Ohm's law. What is the macroscopic form of Ohm's law? V is equal to I into R. Okay, V is equal to I into R. And what is the microscopic form of Ohm's law? J vector is equal to sigma times E vector. So J vector and E vector both are along the same direction. Understand? Okay, now the graphical representation of Ohm's law. Generally, we draw the graph between the potential difference and the current. So it is the choice of the person who takes the voltage along the x-axis or y-axis. Similarly, current also can be chosen either along the x-axis or the y-axis. Now, what will be the graph if you draw a graph between the voltage taken along the x-axis and the current taken along the y-axis? Now, first one is for metals. Okay, for metals, for metallic conductors like copper and aluminum and all. If you draw a graph between voltage and the current, means then the nature of the graph will be a straight line passing through the origin. Okay, and on this graph, if you take any 2 points, and project these points, if you project these points on the x and y axis respectively. So let us take this is first one, second, the third and the fourth. I have taken the second point and the fourth point and projected along the x-axis, that is voltage axis. So this difference is denoted by delta V. Similarly, this difference along the y-axis is denoted by delta I. And the slope of this graph is always the y-intercept divided by the x-intercept, and that is equal to y-intercept is what? Delta I divided by delta V. Now the reciprocal of the slope, that is 1 by slope, is equal to delta V divided by delta I, and this will be equal to R, that is equal to the resistance of the conductor. So what is the significance of this graphical representation? From this graph you have to find out the slope, and the slope is equal to what? The reciprocal of the resistance, or the reciprocal of the slope is equal to what? R, and that is equal to what? The resistance, electrical resistance of the wire, or resistance of the conductor. Okay, students. So we have studied Ohm's law today in macroscopic form, that is V equal to IR, as well as the microscopic form, that is what? J vector is equal to sigma times E vector. And from the graphical representation between voltage and current, we can find the slope. Now you can see that the nature of the graph is a straight line. It is linear graph. And such device which obeys, okay, which obeys Ohm's law is called as a ohmic device or linear device. Okay, any device which obeys Ohm's law is called a ohmic device. And also, if the straight line graph is available between V and I, means then it is a linear graph. Therefore, the device itself is called a linear device. Suppose if the graph is not a straight line, then that device does not obey Ohm's law. Such a device which does not obey Ohm's law is called as what? A non-ohmic device. Non-ohmic device. And the graph will not be a straight line. It will be curved line. and we are going to study in detail in the further topics also. As an introduction, I am telling you that if the graph is not a straight line, that is also called as a non-linear device. Okay, it is also called as what? A non-linear device. And for examples, diodes, semiconductors made, that is the diodes, transistors. These are all some of the semiconductor devices for which if you draw the graph between voltage and current, it will not be a straight line. So ohmic device is any device which obeys Ohm's law, and the voltage current graph will be a straight line passing through the origin. And non-ohmic device is any device which does not obey Ohm's law, and for that the graph will not be a straight line, and hence that device is also called as a non-linear device. So we are going to end up with this topic. Next topic is drift velocity and the relation between current and drift velocity. Okay, then see you.